Z's new name that he's going to go by on this show is Tommy Pickles. So if you want a live action version of a Rugrat, you're looking at him right there on your right side.
If any of you guys have tried this before, please let me know. and if you guys let me know where I can buy Panda Puffs,
check Amazon Z.
I actually have not done that yet, so I should.
Yeah, check Amazon. Yeah, Z is back eating 5-year-old cereal. It is represented by
good for your cholesterol.
By kids, it's definitely not. And so Tommy Pickles is his new name because whenever he decides to order that, he will be sitting downstairs in that chair on the kitchen without a shirt on and a pull-up.
Oh man, I mean, I don't know if you guys if anybody's ever heard of Gorilla Munch, but it's made by the same brand. So, Panda Puffs in. There's not much more to say about it. They're peanut butter flavored. Don't care what you say. Don't care what your judgment is, and quite frankly, don't care what your opinion is. So,
I guarantee they're trash.
Yeah, you guarantee they're trash. Give me one like peanut butter flavored anything that's trash.
No, I like peanut butter flavored, but a lot of times these like off-brand or
it's not off-brand.
Different. I'm not saying it's off-brand. You have different off-brand cereals at your local grocery stores. You have these other type of cereals that are just a brand that nobody knows, and there's a reason why.
Hit me with your top 3 cereals right now.
Yeah, we're going to talk about our cereals.
Hit your top 3 right now. The ones you like the most.
All right. Reese's Puffs, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and my third one I'll probably put Cheerios.
Cheerios. Just standard Cheerios?
Either one.
Interesting. Well, he calls me a child, but he still eats Reese's Puffs.
No, they're on the Reese's Puffs. There's a reason why that brand's been going on for years and years and years. There's a reason why that cereal's been going on for years and years and years. Nobody's eating Panda Puffs. Nobody's eating freaking Baby Puffs. I know Babies R Us. Babies R Us was one of your favorite stores to go to.
Yep, it's out of business. It's been out of business for a long time.
Yep.
See, and I would go Fruit Loops. Fruit Loops got to be in there. I'll put Frosted Flakes in there. And then number 3, it's got to be Captain Crunch.
Don't know what you're criticizing me for.
Well, those cereals are just flat out better. But anyways, outside the topic of cereal, because you know what's funny is I actually did not mean to send that to Ann the other day. I accidentally sent it, and then the damage was done.
Still save Z. It's still saved. The picture of Tommy Pickles is still on my phone.
Yeah, it is. So today is May 21st, Tuesday, May 21st, a day after Barbarians lost the championship game yesterday. Yeah. So not much to talk about there. I did end my interception drought. It's been about 8 months.
Yep.
But we're coming on here because now the Eastern and Western Conference Finals are set. And also, before we even get there, we got to talk about freaking Livy Dunn.
Yeah, Livy Dunn.
Obviously you guys don't know. Ann's a Pirates fan, and the debut of Paul Skeens, and obviously I'll let you go ahead and talk about it first.
Well, for anybody that watches baseball, even for people that maybe don't tune in too much, but kind of have your ear in the news every now and then, you've probably heard about Paul Skeens with the Pirates. Paul Skeens, top pitching prospect in baseball. He's kind of been regarded as the top pitching prospect since Steven Strasburg. And when Pirates drafted him last year at first overall, and going into this year, they started him out in AAA just to kind of get his feet wet. It was a cakewalk for him. Yep. Easily. So Paul Skeens made his debut for the Pirates. It was a huge debut. It's probably gonna be one of their. It will probably end up being one of their bigger crowds of the year.
Oh,
but not a player of this caliber.
Yep.
I want to say ever in terms of the last since Barry Bonds.
Yep.
Honestly, if I'm being straight honest. So Paul Skeens started for the Pirates at home against Chicago Cubs. It was just electric. It was just electric atmosphere watching it. Wish I could have been there. I'm going to try to get to a game this year where he pitches, but it was an electric atmosphere. It was something that honestly, that type of atmosphere, it felt like a playoff type atmosphere.
Yep.
And it was a type of crowd that the Pirates haven't had in years in terms of just the excitement, electricity. He ended up having a really good debut that game. And then his last recent start, he went 6.
Go ahead and activate the video. I'm trying to.
Oh, yeah. He went 6 no-hit innings with 10 strikeouts against the Cubs on the road.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is just freaking like.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, in MLB The Show, Sony got to tone it down. I mean, I'm throwing 104.
Yeah, he's not hitting that. He's not hitting that.
No.
102 is kind of the most he's been hitting, but
yeah.
But he throws gas. He's just a strikeout machine. And he's only 21 years old.
Yeah, and also his like pitching motion too. Like the fact that you throw that much heat and that kind of pitching motion is just like it's almost, I don't want to say like a full sidearm, but or like underarm, but like in a way it's kind of reminds me of like a Matthew Stafford kind of throw in football. Like the way he throws it is just such a weird.
Yeah, he's not bringing it over his shoulder fully, but his end release with like the leg kick and the arm swing is interesting. I don't really think I've seen that.
Yeah, I mean if I'm able to pull up his like first 2 starts.
Yeah, 11 strikeouts. Yeah, he struck out the first 7 guys that game. It was crazy.
Right. Now figures, but both of them were against the Cubs. So I mean, you kind of got to wait and see.
Love to see it. Should I sing the song here?
Sing the song. I don't think it should. I think we might make some people tight. This right here will show both games, like to the right. It'll show, I think it'll show it. Are you able to see that maybe? Yeah, so it'll show to the right. He started both games against the Cubs, pitched 10 total innings. He struck out 18 batters in 2 games. He allowed 3 runs and 6 hits.
Yeah.
So for a rookie going against a Cubs lineup, that's really not too bad. I mean, that is just unreal.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and he's only 21. So Pirates are going to have him for a little bit of time. So fans need to enjoy him while he's here because, he's probably going to be heading out to the Yankees or the Dodgers.
235.
Yeah.
He's huge.
Yeah. He's a big dude.
Yeah. He's a big dude on that mound. I mean, it's got to be intimidating. The freaking stash. You got this freaking stash looking at you. You got Livy Dunn up in the box.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
take away the stash. That honestly, Z kind of look like your freshman year picture.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And was the only guy in our senior year that when he got his senior photo, he didn't dress up for it. Think about that.
You're right. I didn't.
You didn't.
I didn't.
That's sad. I got the yearbook right here behind me. I can pull it out.
I have it too, Z. I wore a t-shirt. Like, didn't care. I was already chalked out Z going to that year.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah. So honestly, I mean, I'm happy for the Pirates. I mean, the last time they had an ace like this, I feel like was probably Garrett Cole.
Yeah, and I don't even think Garrett Cole even compares to this guy.
No, I mean, I don't think so either.
Like where Garrett Cole was coming up through the system versus where Paul Skeens was. Yeah, Skeens is way more sought out than Garrett Cole was.
Right. I mean, obviously, we're not going to sit here and say like right now, like Paul Skeens will be on pace to be better than Garrett Cole.
Yeah,
but I mean, like this is good for N. This is good for that franchise. This is good for the fan base.
Well, the fan base freaking needs it, dude. What anybody knows, even people that aren't baseball fans, guaranteed know that the Pirates are a joke of an organization. They're a joke. They don't spend money. We all know that's been the narrative and the prerogative for freaking years. So having a guy like this that is actually going to bring a level of excitement to that beautiful ballpark and to a fan base that actually craves a good baseball team is at least a start. Thing with the Pirates, not making this about the Pirates, but just since obviously Skeens plays there, they have talent there, but when you have talent that you're relying on that has kind of come up through your system, you got to spend money to add to it, and they just don't. I think the highest paid free agent acquisition that they had this year was Aroldis Chapman at $10 million.
Just look at this one. A 12-mile-per-hour difference between Paul Skeens and Kevin Hendricks fastball.
Don't know how Hendricks still on the roster.
Talk about someone that needs to get dumped.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
12 miles per hour. Z, that's a huge difference.
It's huge.
It's humongous.
Huge. 12 mile per hour. I mean, even that doesn't sound, well, it says right there. I mean, Skeens averaged 100 mile per hour on his fastball. Hendricks averaged a league low 87.9.
Z, would you say the arm's dead?
Well, and I mean, at this point, he's turning into a long any relief pitcher.
Yeah.
Which
is okay. That happens to a lot of starters. You have a lot of over the years, you have a lot of MLB pitchers that are back end type guys and put in some good years, and it just gets to that point where you end up transitioning into a bullpen role, and that's the way it goes.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's not.
The thing is that it just seems like he's on too long of a leash.
Yeah, there's not. But I mean, again, this video isn't about Kyle Hendricks.
Yeah,
it's not about the Barbarians losing. It's not about Optic winning the major on Sunday. If anybody watched that,
yep. It's not about hopefully we're in for a treat the next 2 years with Call of Duty. Yeah, yeah. I know we're definitely not, but we got Treyarch the next 2 years, so
no,
that's our video.
Honestly, just he's instantly becoming must watch TV.
He's a phenom.
Yeah. He's becoming must watch TV. Just honestly, just watching him pitch like in Wrigley Field with like a sold out crowd was just kind of great to watch. And like, I mean, even the part of, like, hold on. Yeah. I mean, here, I'll pull up this too, because this is like a little good comparison. Just even the part of like having the fan base like show out is so important. I mean, like, obviously, like, it kind of speaks for itself just on the way of, like, you have the number one pick.
Mm-hmm.
He's finally making a start. He was big time in his days with LSU.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it can only go up from here. I mean, it really can. I mean, this is definitely somebody I could see them breaking the bank on 2-3 years from now.
No, they definitely need to. Like, dude, like they've been known to not extend their players. It's been all these years. They let guys finish out their arbitration years. And when it gets to that time of where before they test for agency, they trade them. But they have extended Brian Reynolds to a 6-7 year contract. They gave a 7-year deal to Hayes. They gave a 5-year deal to Mitch Keller. So they have extended 3 guys that they view as an important part of their team to actually long-term contracts.
Sure.
So with Paul Skeens, obviously he's going to command a freaking butt ton of money. But if you want to freaking change your landscape of an organization, this is a guy that
all the time, and I think
needs to be here. This is a guy that needs to be here. This guy that you have to invest in. Plain simple.
Just pause right there for a second. So most 100+ mile per hour pitches by a starter in a single start this season. Skeens has started 2.
Yeah.
Hunter Green has probably started maybe 10 by now. Same thing with probably Jose Soriano and Jared Jones. I mean, I mean, even himself, he's not too bad for the Pirates. But I mean, just that stat alone. I mean, and obviously, like, just throwing 100 to 101 miles an hour is not going to be like, it's not going to get him to winning a Cy Young one day. Like, he'll still have to develop, and he'll have a couple games this year, where he'll get lit up. Get lit up. I mean, it's just going to happen. So, honestly, like, really just next level stuff. I mean, it's great to see. Yeah. And shout out Paul Skeens, shout out Livy Dunn.
Livy Dunn. It's great. It's great for the franchise. They need this. So we'll see what happens. They're only, I think, a game out of a wild card spot. So
Well, and
So
I mean, that really says a lot about the league and
it's all you
putting
got to know about the National
8
League right
teams
now.
in the playoffs.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's exciting. We're going to, in another video, we're going to kind of cover really kind of the current spot of baseball and things like that. So, talking about Paul Skeens is something that we can transition a little bit even more into our next video. But nonetheless, it's exciting. It's exciting for fans. It's a good thing for baseball. They need a pitcher type guy like this.
Sure.
So
I mean, speaking of the playoffs,
yeah,
obviously we'll get to it. The conference finals are set to go.
yes.
And if Ed was paying attention, you know, I was trying to, yeah, of course,
My bad.
I was trying to time it, and Ed's not paying attention like he
It's
never
up there,
does.
Z. It's up there. It's up there.
God. So here we are. What was funny about our last video was when Ed and I predicted the Western Conference semifinals. I was like, watch, we're both gonna get one right, and that's exactly what happened.
Right.
Because Ed took the Wolves and Thunder, I took the Mavs and Nuggets.
Yeah.
And here we are. So my West bracket has been perfect until the Wolves won Game 7. And obviously on the Eastern Conference side, I mean, the bracket's just all over the place. Indiana has had a Mickey Mouse run through the playoffs. Not to be disrespectful. I mean, I do like seeing them go this far. But I mean, obviously, and I mean, you know, to kick off whatever way you want to start this conversation, who are you favoriting? What kind of matchups you looking forward to? And maybe just straight up who you have winning.
Yeah.
Each series.
Well, Z and I have kind of had some conversations off YouTube here. And I'll say real quick a little bit of what I've said to him before is that this is a good thing for the league having a fresh slate of the NBA playoffs. I think they've kind of had that the last couple years for the most part.
No Curry.
Yep. Right.
No LeBron.
Yep.
Giannis.
There's fans out there heartbroken by it and think it's terrible.
I know.
But those type of people don't realize that the NBA's, aside from like Jokic and I guess Giannis, since he's won a finals, the NBA has guys that are on the rise, of course.
Yep.
But the NBA needs to be at that spot of where they're guys that they're going to be relying on for the next 10, 15 years.
Sure.
Those are the type of guys that you want to start being in the spotlight, taking that next step. And you're already seeing it with a couple guys here. You've seen it a little bit in the playoffs with the Thunder. But the Currys and LeBrons of the day are expiring. Yes. I don't care, honestly, to see a Stephen Curry or LeBron James in the NBA Finals ever again.
Right.
I don't. Been there, done that.
Yep.
Don't care to see it. I really don't.
Yep.
It is at the point in the NBA. Now, I don't know what the ratings are. I don't know what the NBA's ratings are each year. I haven't really looked into that and done my homework on that. But for the NBA, the primary thing is when you look at this playoff this year and you look at the conference finals this year, you have a handful of guys that are either kind of established themselves as a top guy or starting to come to that point, and that's what you want in your spotlight. That's what you want to show off. That's what you want to put on the floor is the NBA. So you have a guy in Luka who is an MVP caliber player. We've seen that, but he's been to Western Conference Finals but hasn't been to a final yet. When you're the NBA, he's okay. You're viewing him as like, hey, this is one of our top 5 guys. This is going to be a top 5 guy for us for years and years to come. We need him in that. We hope, we want him to eventually be in that spotlight. Anthony Edwards, another young all-star talent coming around the corner. Jason Tatum, already established top guy. Jaylen Brown, you can have your opinion on him, but what is he, like the highest paid shooting guard in NBA history or whatever it is? So you have him there. Tyrese Halliburton, upcoming top point guard. Kyrie Irving, been to a finals, but also he has some name to him. So that also adds to the vote. The other aspect of this that I appreciate is that the era of just buying your roster and stacking your roster needs to be over. It needs to be over. This right here, as you're looking at, sure, the Celtics signed or traded for Porzingis, but Tatum and Jaylen Brown are their homegrown talent.
Yep.
So the NBA teams that either didn't make the playoffs or did, you're looking at this like, okay, we look at all these teams in the conference finals. None of these teams are buying their rosters. This is talent developed on their own. This is teams that have a bunch of guys that know their role, that are all into what they're doing.
Yep.
Look at the Dallas Mavericks. Outside of Kyrie Irving, it's a bunch of role players that they've either drafted or they've brought in from the outside that play in their role. Indiana Pacers, same thing. You made a trade for Pascal Siakam. Okay, great. Siakam's not a top 20 player in the league. He's a solid guy. He's had a good career so far, but he's not this groundbreaking, needle-moving player that we've seen be traded before. That's fine having that. Indiana Pacers, you still have Miles Turner in there. You still have a couple other wing guys that are in their role. Boston Celtics, other than a Drew Holiday or Porzingis, okay, whatever. They've Derek White. Those have been their guys for how long now? So the NBA needs to be in this spot of where that era of the Durant's getting signed and the era of teams just trying to stack their rosters like the Cavs of the past and the Warriors and even the Miami Heat back in the day, and just to the point where teams felt like the only way to compete is to sign a ton of guys. That needs to be done. That needs to be done. Those days are done and long gone. You can even look at the Thunder. You can look at the Denver Nuggets. Those are all teams that have found themselves developing their own talent. And you can even say a team like the Milwaukee Bucks, like, yeah, they have talent, but then they trade for Damian Lillard. Okay, it didn't really work out too much this year. But nonetheless, it's a good thing for the NBA where they're at. I'll be honest, I haven't watched all the NBA playoff games. I've only watched a select amount, just given the fact of it's a best of 7. I honestly, my level of, not to keep rambling here, but my level of investment is not there in the sense of where it used to be, but I'll still watch some games and everything like that. I still have my ear in it and everything like that. But with the conference finals, interesting matchups. I'm excited to kind of watch a little bit of that Mavs Timberwolves matchup. I think that should be exciting. That should be fun. Both teams Z, I would not mind either team making it. This is great for Minnesota, a team that has been in a spot of rebuilding for years, never being able to figure it out post Garnett. Now they're in a spot where they've drafted okay the last couple years, and Edwards has come on. You have a veteran Mike Conley. Cat has been there for a long time. You have some shooters on that team that you've brought in over the years. So that's good. Dallas kind of briefly went over. With this Western Conference series, I'm going to say Z, Minnesota does it. I'm going to say Minnesota completes the run. Well, not completes fully, but completes the run to the finals and does it and gets there in 7 games. Luka falls short again, but Luka's a top 5 guy. I think that he will be back. When we look at the Eastern Conference side, the Celtics and the Pacers.
I love how it cuts off their face.
Yeah, that's okay. Of course it does. But yeah, this is your Final Four, and it's good to see it.
No, but also, I mean, don't mean to interrupt you before you say your East Conference predictions, but the reason why I'm pulling up this picture, because I was trying to add it to your point of all 4 players in this picture who you can argue are the most important players for their. I don't think you can even argue it. I think it's obvious that they're the most important players for their teams. Yeah, all 4 of those are players that they've drafted and developed.
Yes.
And now, sure, somebody's like, "Oh well, Anthony Edwards is the number 1 pick. Luka's the number 2 pick." Like,
doesn't matter.
That's not the point. And also the point is that, like, we're not saying you can't trade for somebody.
Yeah.
And like have that guy be the head of your team and the head of your future.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, no,
we're not saying that. But when that's how you build your team, like the Phoenix Suns and many other teams in the past.
Yes,
the Clippers,
Lakers, Clippers currently.
Nets years ago,
Cavs, the Brooklyn Nets years ago. Yeah, it does not work out, dude. It does not. Oh well, the Lakers won a COVID final. No, they didn't. Sorry, no, they didn't. Doesn't count.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, so go ahead and continue with your East prediction.
Z makes a good point there, and I have stressed that for so long that the NBA needs to be at that point, because this needs to be the way that teams go about. And there's some younger teams in the league that have some talent that haven't gotten there yet. But okay, you can bring some guys in to help your younger talent and add to that, but it just should not be the way you operate, where that's your way of trying to build a roster and trying to build a team and everything like that. So if you want to go sign a star, you can go ahead and sign a star. But you're not not 3 max contracts.
Right.
No, that's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it at all. So with the Eastern Conference Finals, this one I'm least interested in, honestly, out of the two, because the Celtics have been in the spot for years now, trying to get over the hump, right? Indiana Pacers, great thing for them, great thing for their fans. I think they have some good fans. They've done a great job this season. They have a young, promising roster, and they found themselves in the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since, I think, Paul George and Roy Hibbert were there. So that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it's good for them. It's good for them to be there. It's a great level of experience. The Celtics are just on another level. And I'm going to say that the Celtics win 5 games. Celtics win in 5. So I'm going Minnesota Timberwolves versus Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. I'm completely fine if the Mavericks get there. I think that would be great for Luka to get there, even to see Kyrie kind of get back there. That would be cool. But nonetheless, the Western Conference Finals is very interesting. I say it goes to 7 games. And I think that this is a good spot for the NBA to be in with how their playoffs has went this year. And this is the way it kind of needs to go in the future.
Sure. Well, if you guys are wondering what the schedule is for the series, we'll pull it up for you right now. Go ahead and put it on the screen. Yeah. So I think something, and you didn't point out though.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you point out a lot of things, and there's a lot of things to appreciate right now with the final 4 teams left. I think something you didn't point out, and that I think you and I are definitely going to appreciate, is the fact that you can make an argument that all 4 of these teams prioritize defense. All 4 teams.
Sure.
Especially the Timberwolves.
Yes.
I mean, how many highlights have we seen from the Timberwolves or the Mavs or even the Celtics on playing lockdown defense from one basket to the next? Full court defense, full court press, not 2-3 zones, not cherry picking down the court. I mean, it's really it's a beautiful thing to see, and it's a part of the game that many people forgot about, because everyone wants to see scoring, but the thing is, you get a beautiful mixture of both. The ratings is something that might not be talked about too much, because like Anthony Edwards hasn't built a name for himself yet. Right. The Timberwolves are not a big market team. Maybe Tyrese Halliburton hasn't really built a name for himself yet.
Right.
So sure, like we don't have these high scoring games, and we don't have any of these big stars, so the ratings might not be the best, but who cares? Yeah. Who cares? This makes for great, just fun watching playoff basketball. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And if fans don't appreciate that, then honestly, then they're the
fans don't want defense. They want 145 to 130.
No, I love watching good defense. I love watching like all these guys in the Timberwolves, Rudy Gobert and Edwards and the rest of their team, Kyle Anderson, that just play defense from one point to the next. I love it. I love watching it.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to point that out. But I mean, I guess in reference to my predictions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to talk about Boston, Indiana too much. I mean, give me Boston in 5. Again, I don't want to downplay Indiana's run to the Eastern Conference Finals, because you got to give them credit. But they obviously went against a depleted Knicks team and a depleted Bucks team.
Yeah.
It is what it is. 100%. It is what it is. It's just being honest.
Yeah.
But good on them. Good on Halliburton and Siakam and the future of their team, and Miles Turner.
Yeah.
But the Celtics, I mean, I picked them to win the finals. I think many people picked them to win the finals.
Yeah.
And so give me Celtics, maybe Celtics in 6. I'll take Celtics in 6. I'll see the Pacers give them a little run.
Yeah.
So give me Celtics. Really not much more there. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, get back to it. And really, I think they're on a path to finally winning a ring.
Yeah.
It's been a thorn in their side for a long time, but we're not going to get there yet. We're not talking about the finals.
Yeah.
Give me Boston in 6. Dallas and Minnesota. Oh man, it's a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
It's a tough one. I mean, I think you can make an argument that Dallas is outmatched because Minnesota has defenders that can play on the perimeter with Kyrie and Luka.
Mhm.
But I mean, at the same time, like Dallas, like all their role players, like PJ Washington and Lively and all these boys, they have the athleticism to guard a guy like Anthony Edwards, locking down a guy like Mike Conley. So, but at the same time, do they have the size? Do they have the size to go up against Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would. Oh man, I feel like it's really kind of a 50-50 between these teams. I'm actually glad both of these teams are in the conference finals because, like I said, I wouldn't be mad which one makes it. I wouldn't. I would be super happy for Luka to see him in there, and at the same time, like I'm a fan of what Anthony Edwards has done this postseason, especially sweeping the Suns. Thank you. So, dude, I don't know. I mean, it's a 50-50. Obviously, I have to give a prediction. Man,
it's tough, but
I think I'm gonna agree with you. I think I'm gonna take Minnesota. I think Minnesota's the bigger, stronger, athletic, faster team. This is definitely a series.
I think they just have a little bit more.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a series that can go 7.
Yeah,
no question about it.
100%.
But man, I mean, they have so many pros and cons to each side, and it's like we can sit here and talk for hours, but we won't about like this matchup and that matchup and yada yada. But they both pursue excellence on defense. They both have superstars on either side that are the face of the franchise, and you both have guys who can take over a game in seconds. So I'll agree with you. I'll take Minnesota to go to their first finals, at least in my lifetime.
There you have it. Yeah.
And I'll take it in 7. I'll take it 7.
Yeah. It should be a good matchup. It really should. So Z's got the same thing I do. Celtics and Minnesota Timberwolves in the NBA Finals. And actually, I think that would be a good one.
I think that'd be a great one then. I think that'd be a great one. Yeah. I mean, I think Minnesota can definitely give a run to Boston for their money.
100%.
And yeah, I think it'd be great for the league. I think it'd be great for the league for Minnesota to make it. Yeah, we don't have Giannis. We don't have Embiid. We don't have Kawhi. And we don't want it. Us true basketball fans do not want it.
No, we don't. And even though that Z and I aren't really the biggest 2020 type NBA fans nowadays, we still value and cherish,
no KD,
cherish the game. So,
no Booker.
No, yeah.
All right, I'm done.
So he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
No.
So
no.
But yeah, so that is our Western and Eastern Conference Finals discussion prediction here, going into the final round before the finals this year and our finals predictions. So once the finals happens, we will be back on here to give some maybe a finals discussion.
Yeah, we've gone every single round. We've gone every single round as we said we would. So I'm glad we were able to get this done before the conference finals start. Any predictions? You guys let us know.
Yep. You guys can put in the comment section what you guys think of the video. You guys can put in the comment section. Z and I will be back to discuss some Major League Baseball. We haven't really discussed that too much as we're getting closer to June, into summertime. So we're going to discuss that into our next video, as you guys will see come up. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, guys, hit the notification bell so you guys are aware of all things on what we do.
And we're also going to discuss why Ann thought Pirates were winning the Central in April.
Never said that.
Yeah, I mean, it came out one time, and
when it come out. False narrative from Z. But other than that, guys, thank you all very much. We appreciate you and your support and tuning in. We will be back